guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ahviworld. Can you see this beautiful lovely dress? Do you want to learn how to make it? Now watch with me. But first of all, if you have not watched the part 1 of this video, I will encourage you to go back and watch the part 1, because that one entails the cutting, and this one is only for sewing. Okay, so you watch it so you can follow. Let's get started. Now, in order to start sewing, this is the first thing to do. Okay, to sew the neck first of all. So you see, I stitched the net. Remember, I cut out a net of the same size with the body of the top. Okay, so I eventually cut out another piece of a lining. This is normal lining that I used to line it, because I discovered that at the time, if I use this one to line it, it's too light. So I'm combining both of them like so. It's a kind of design as well. Then I'll use the lining to line it. So I just went ahead to sew it so that the net will not be shifting. Then I'll place this on the right side of the fabric. Remember, this is the side that is going to face out. Okay, so I'll place my lining over it like so. This is the neck area and this is the armhole area. So I'll go ahead now and sew this neck area round to this place and stop here. Okay, so after doing that, I'll go ahead and notch it again. Just cut it open so that it can relax when I fold it, when I turn it over. Okay, after this I will turn it like this. Turn it like this. After turning, I'm supposed to iron it, but first I want to top stitch it first. I want to sew it, so you know the lining is light. Okay, so I'm going to sew this one like this. The part, that's the, can you see what I'm talking about? I don't know how to explain it. Okay, this rough part, I'm going to place it, make sure it rests on the lining. Then I will now top stitch it. I will sew on the lining, not on the main fabric, on the lining. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. You can sew from inside, you can sew from outside, but I prefer sewing from outer part so that I can gauge exactly where I want the sewing to pass through. Okay, but the most important thing is that ensure that the rough edges, these ruffles, are on the lining side so that I can press it together. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I will just use my hand to open it. I'll just use my hand to open it like this and sew. Repeat same on the other one. I already notched it, so I'll open it again as well and do it like that as well. So this is the best way to sew. You don't need to remove it so that it will be faster for you. You can see it. Can you see it? You can see the line of the sewing. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same thing on the armhole, because this blouse is not going to have a hand, it's handless. Okay, so I will turn it again as well and sew the armhole, sew it to this point, and also top stitch it. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. So after sewing and top stitching the armhole, you can see both sides. This is the neck and this is the armhole. I'm going to go ahead and sew these two sides together so that it will be neat before I turn everything out completely. Okay, just tiny, less than half an inch. Just run it down. So this is it. When I turn it out, it's going to be like this. So I'll iron it very well and show you the outcome. You can see how neat it's looking. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and sew the front. Okay, this is the front, then this is the net for the front. Remember we said we're going to add this lace to it on one side. Let me keep this one first. So I just pinned it so that it's not gonna shift. So I'm going to sew it once. So I'm pinning it together with the down part since we have a separate lining now. So you can see I pinned it. Okay, initially I was thinking of doing it like this cross, but I think instead of this place to cover, I prefer to do it like this. Okay, you see, creativity never ends. So the more you do it, the more you have new ideas. So I just went ahead to sew this place, to stitch it so that it will not be shifted. Remember it was pin I was using all along. So now what I'm going to do is to place it right here and pin it before I start sewing the way I want it to be. So it's going to be like this. So this is how it's going to be. So no point stitching it first before attaching the lining. I will just go ahead, place the lining over it like so. Okay, so when I finish, I will top stitch and turn the lining to the back the same way I did the back. You know, I sew the back first, right? The same way I did to the back, that's the same thing I'm going to do to the front and get back to us. Okay, so I will notch it right now and top stitch it. So after notching, flip it over like so, then top stitch the rough part on top of the lining so that it can go down. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing to the armholes, okay, and get back to us. You can see them. I finished ironing them. You can see that they are very neat both inside and outside, right? And see the front side. So this one is just going to remain like this. When I want to attach this place to the down the skirt, I will raise it also that it can fall like that. So now it's time to join the hands together before putting our dart, because I want to do it inner sewing. I don't want the sewing of the hand to show out this is a child, so that this sequence or the lace will not hurt the baby. So I'm going to sew the hand together. Note that this place I sew deeply curved is the hand. It's going to be like this, and it's going to be like this. This is how it's going to be. So I'll go ahead now and attach it. In order to attach the hand, you can easily attach it like this. Just hold it like this and run it, then weave it. Okay, that's if you want fast work. But if you want a very neat job, this is the best way to do it. You see this inner outer part, I'm going to turn it out. I'll turn it like so. As the inner side is facing out, you can see this is the zipper place, right? Make sure that it's going to be here. Okay, so in that case it's going to be like this. It's going to go in. I will pass it through here like so. I'll pass the hand to come out of this hand here. So at the time you leave it, it's going to be like this. Can you see it? At the time you finish sewing it, when you bring it out, the lining is facing the lining and this side is like this. Do you understand? See, I'm turning the back, the main side that's supposed to be in front. facing it to the main side that is going to be in front, but meanwhile you already turn the back, you already turn it inside out. Okay, so you face it, make sure that this same zipper allowance is the one facing directly on here, but it's going to go inside. At the time it goes inside like this, you will discover that the two lining are together, they are close to each other. That's the best way to do it. Okay, so I'll push it in like so. Then try to adjust it to make sure that it laps very well from end to end. If possible, you can use your pin to secure it before you start sewing. So I'm going to go ahead right now and sew it. So you can turn it out now, and you will see that it's perfect. Can you see it? So if you see that it's too big inside, we just go ahead and trim it off a little bit before turning it out completely. It's not supposed to be too bulky in there. See it? This is how it should be. So I can now put my dart now. In order to put my dart, I will also raise this part up. I'll raise this part up so that it's not going to affect my dart. So I will just remove the pin first of all. Then I'll go ahead and fold it into two. If I like, I can run this place first so that this part will not be shifting, or you can as well leave it if you know you can maneuver your way. Just hold it like this and look for the midpoint. Here is the middle of it. So I'm going to take 2.5 inches or 2 inches. Let's say 2 inches, since it's a child. 2 inches. Just mark it up here, then go up by 3 inches, or by 3 inches is okay. You know, children don't have breasts yet, so you don't need to put too much dart in there. And the dart as well also give it fittings. Okay, so once I mark like this, I will turn it facing each other like so. Place it down and just tap it. So you see, I now have the mark on both sides. So I'll go ahead now, just hold here, try to stretch it so that the outer part, everything can enter. Just hold here like so, and start just by 1/2 inch. Sew it to this point. So I will repeat same here and at the back side, then get back to us. When I want to put the dart at the back, I'm going to start from this, start the measurement from this line. This is my zipper line. Okay, so that's where I'm going to take my 2 inches from. You remember the front we use 2 inches. Okay, then the back can go up more than the front. I can use 4 inches. You know, the front we use 3 inches. So 2 inches by 4 inches. So that's it. Then I'll do the dots and get back to us. You can see I finished adding the dots. Okay, let me just show you quickly. This is the dots. Okay, and that is the one at the back. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to join the sides together. First of all, I'll just do a rough stitch, or rough stitch at the back. Just, I will not tight it, so that I will know that this is where my zipper is going to be before I will join the sides together. Okay, So after that, it's now easy for me to join my sides. Remember, this one is going to remain like this, so I'll place it like so. Let me iron the back. I noticed that the video is becoming too long. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to end it here, then upload the next one. That means it's going to be a part 3. Okay, please bear with me.